Hi guys, and welcome back to class. Today, we are going to read the following quote. Claudette had lit the fuse to her powder keg of protest, but her rebellion had caught Black Montgomery by surprise. House 65. In this sentence, I want you to identify the metaphor and then explain the metaphor to me inside of the discussion board. What is the metaphor and what does it mean inside of this quote? Then I want you to ask yourselves, how would you restate the metaphor as an analogy? Why might it be important to think of this quote as making Claudette's actions analogies to lighting a fuse rather than thinking of this quote as a descriptive metaphor? And how does the analogy you just explained suggest something about Claudette's strategy? Our essential question for this lesson is, how do people affect social change? And our focusing question is, what strategies do people use to affect social change? Our content framing question and our reveal stage for this lesson says, what does a deeper exploration of strategies for social change reveal? And our craft question and our Excel stage says, how do I improve paraphrasing and quoting in a research project? So now I want you guys to identify the publication source of Guston's article. I will have that listed inside. And then I want you to ask yourself, what might Wired's motivations be for publishing an article about social media? What implicit biases might they have? How does examining the publication that published Guston's article help you understand his purpose? What are the connotations of the word spark and accelerant? And what do these connotations imply about social media and social change? During the American Revolution, pamphlets were short, often anonymous texts that were published and sold, and they were used to spread ideas and information. A very famous pamphlet, Common Sense, was thought to have been one of the accelerants of the American Revolution. How does Sasha Minerath's observation about pamphlets relate to Guston's analogy about social media? Then ask yourself, what evidence does Guston cite to support his claim about social media activism is analogous to fire? Now we're going to analyze an analogy to reveal the author's purpose. How does Guston's analogy of social media as a spark reveal his purpose in writing social media sparked accelerant Egyptian's revolutionary fire? Write 2 to 3 sentences in your journals. In the same way that pamphlets didn't cause the American Revolution, social media didn't cause the Egyptian Revolution, said Sasha Minerath, director of the New American Foundation's Open Technology Initiative. Rafat Ali, a social media expert and founder of Paid Content, said Facebook and Twitter played different roles in the uprising. What do you know about the sources that Guston is paraphrasing and quoting? So here, he's using quotes and paraphrases in the article that we read from the previous lesson. Based on what he paraphrased and what he quote, how can you tell if they are relevant or credible? And what do you know about the sources that he's using? So these are called frames. These are called frames. A frame generally includes a source's name. So just right here, you see, said Sasha Minerath or Rafat Ali. It also has evidence of their relevance and their credibility. So who is Sasha Minerath? She's the director of the New American Foundation Open Technology Initiative. Who is Rafat Ali? A social media expert and founder of Paid Content. It also has a signaling phrase. basically saying what that person saw, said, or what they believe. So in this one, it says that she believes that the pamphlets didn't cause the American Revolution. And they do that by saying that she said that. Here, he says that social media, that Twitter and Facebook played different roles in the uprising. And they do that by saying that he said that. But they do this, and we believe these things because they have high-ranking jobs. She's a director. He is a social media expert. So we're going to be more inclined to believe what they say because of their titles. And so that's why you add evidence for their relevance and credibility. Then it's going to say what they actually said. Either you're going to paraphrase what they said or you're going to quote it word for word. Now I want you to ask yourselves, why might it improve your paraphrasing or your quote to include information like this? Choose a quote or draft a paraphrase from one of your independently researched sources. For tonight's homework, you're going to read aloud the fluency, self-assess your reading, and then switch roles with a partner. Our content framing question for this lesson is in our reveal stage. What does a deeper exploration of strategies for social change reveal? And what most helped you understand Goosson's point of view towards social media, exploring his publication or examining his sources? Choose one source from social media sparked accelerant Egypt's revolutionary fire to investigate further. So whatever source that he had at the bottom of that article that he used, how do you know that that article is accurate? So if I go down here, this is the article. And he mentioned here a man by the name of Gonheim or a man by the name of Mark Zuckerberg. These are sources. This is where he got his information from. So I would need to research these people so I would know who they were. That's what you're doing for tonight's homework. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's lesson. Again, office hours Monday through Friday, 11:22 to 12:06 p.m.